I know. I was really just being a turd. I knew exactly what I was doing.
You can't help what you are, Brian. Okay, so let's go with the soft count. 5, 4, 3, 2. What's up, troopers? It's that time of year again. This is like the 5th time this year. I'm not sure why we keep torturing people with this, but anyway, I'm Evan Paul. That's Mike Baer over there. How you doing, Mike?
I'm sorry, what time is it?
Toxicity time.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, you were like, it's that time of year again, the 5th time, and then you didn't elaborate.
So. Well, I mean, if people are on the YouTubes, then they have seen the face of the enemy already. Oh. That enemy being Mr. Brian Baer. Hello, welcome. Hi, Brian.
Oh, hi.
It's great to see you again.
Yeah, good. Toxicity has returned.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, Mike. I don't know how many times do you think that there's been a podcast recorded where 3 people had won a GTL in the same year?
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I wonder if it's
this definitely isn't the first time, for sure.
You're sure?
I'm positive.
I mean, I know that like any time that you and Kyle were recording, there was like a decent likelihood that 2 people were there.
Well, that first year of Scoundrels, where it was me, Kyle, and David.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I bet you guys did. Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's
I'm pretty
fair.
sure. Yeah.
But were there lists as toxic? This is funny. Is that Brian obviously? Toxic list is the only kind that he knows how to play. Me, I won with the first iteration of what might be one of the current toxic lists. At least I think so. Brian may disagree. We'll hear about that. And then, weirdly enough, the least toxic out of the 3 was you winning with just sort of a regular old clone list, Mike. Like, how does that feel?
Yeah, I mean, unlike other people on this podcast, I don't willy-nilly change factions at the drop of a hat to play whatever the most recently overpowered new cool hot new freshness is on the field,
Well, first of all, I've never done sorry, I can't finish that
you
sentence.
Can't even say it. I can say that I do play all the factions, but I've really only played Rebels competitively. I
think that's fair. I'm not sure I've ever played against you playing a different faction.
You had that high finish with the silly rad cannon list at Gen Con one year.
Yes, that was a really fun list.
We found him out, boys.
But I mean, you're right. When you finished high, it's usually been Rebels.
Yeah.
Whereas I have no loyalties, and so like between. Previously, like my best performance had been me getting top 4 at LVO with Blizzard Force when I ran the exact same list that Kyle Dornbos did. So, who am I to talk? But here we are, just 3 toxic gents. We're going to be talking about a recent tournament that Brian played in, and he may or may not have won that tournament with a not toxic list, which is very commendable on his part. Although it has one toxic upgrade actually.
It was absolutely toxic.
pull it back already. Okay, well, can't wait to hear about it. We're also going to do a Patron list review. We're gonna cover. We're gonna do the numbers NPR style. We like to pull that one out when Brian Baer's here, because he, along with Mike, can appreciate just like my stupid NPR nostalgia, along with 0% of the other listeners out there. So here we are. And what else? We're going to talk to C3LP, and who knows what other stuff is going to come up. We're going to cover an important announcement that Mike and I certainly have very different feelings about. And it's more of a pseudo announcement, but we'll get to that. First of all, I'd like to thank a random Patron member that is Cool Guy Man Thing. It's excellent. Excellent name right there. So have to appreciate that. Thank you very much for your support. The fact that we are going to be doing a list review here on the podcast is one of the bonuses that you can get as one of our patrons. And we're also going to have some of our previously recorded Patreon exclusive content coming out in the next couple of weeks. So lots of good stuff. If you like what we're doing, then please do consider supporting us. We also are sponsored by Legion Terrain and Game Toppers. We just today, Mike, the deployment strategy TFT mini came out, okay. which very nicely features the Legion terrain, and I think like halfway through the video, or it might have been the other video we recorded, where I realized that the Legion terrain sticker was like upside down, so I had to rotate everything in the middle of the video like a professional podcaster that I am. But yeah, so we got good stuff going on. But let's go ahead and start, Michael, with the not quite announcement that we teased at earlier. So the Atomic Mass guys have been on, or I think that they've now finished sort of their post mini strive interview circuit. There was a great interview with Wintermoon that we had talked about some of their questions last time, but then there was also a very good interview where That's No Moon did basically all listener questions. So different from what we did, where ours are like heavily edited by me. And you know,
You're welcome.
maybe that has something to say about like just my level of arrogance, that I mostly want to have the questions be for Mike and I myself, but that's a whole other topic. But the That's No Moon, of course, they covered the Gungans thing, which I refused to cover even when Will offered it to me on a platter on our interview. And I shook my imaginary finger and I said, no, we don't do that around here. We're a serious podcast. We don't talk about Gungans. And he said, I thought he was joking. Well, fine. I was going to tell you everything. And now I may have regrets, because at the end of the That's No Moon interview, Will Schick hinted at the fact that Cockles Faulkner is not going to have to keep coming up with clever ways to ask the Gungan question after Adepticon. Now, Brian, you're very adept at the ways that humans can try to trick each other, manipulate each other with the English language. And so I wanted to actually ask you first.
Okay.
Do you think that Will Schick is saying anything other than the fact that Gungans are going to get announced at Adepticon?
I'm hoping that's what he's saying. That would be awesome.
Awesome.
Okay. That certainly sounds like what he's saying.
I mean, can you imagine any other player in this game having more fun putting Jar Jar Binks on the table than this guy right here?
I mean, if he's good and if he's toxic, then no. And you know,
I can't wait. It'll be so great. It'll be so great. Jar Jar and Hondo running around in the exact same army would be hysterical.
This is well. Now I have an interesting question for you, Brian, because you have kids and they're obviously like way younger. I mean, I assume probably all of them were born after Episode 1 even came out.
Yes.
And so what do they think about Jar Jar as like looking back on it as sort of the prior generation's movie?
Yeah. So my kids are old souls. And so they like the original trilogy better. They do like the Clone Wars TV show.
Okay.
But yeah, no, to be honest, like if you were to poll my kids on what they want to see in Legion, like my 14-year-old is just flabbergasted. My 14-year-old is flabbergasted that Jango Fett is not in the game yet.
Release the Jango.
Just so upset. if this game gets Jar Jar before Jango, My kid, he might just melt down all my minis.
I actually think it's pretty likely that we get Jar Jar before Jango.
I think so.
Oh no, that's too much, Mike. I don't think that's gonna.
I'm being dead serious. This isn't even a Mike hot take. This is like Jango's just like we've got so many versions of Jango Fett in the game already. We don't need another one.
That's actually accurate. When you put it that way. We even have like crazy messed up versions of Jango Fett. We have a girl version of Jango Fett out there. You know, that whole thing challenged my understanding of human genetics, but we'll just like push right past that. But Mike, okay, so let's just assume that my assumption is that Spectre's style, the way that the Spectre's announcement was done at Mini-Strav, that at the end, the very end of Adepticon, because they know that it's going to get big reactions, and it's probably it would also be a really long way off, is my guess, that they're going to show just like the most ridiculous art of Jar Jar Binks possible, or maybe like maybe command card art, or maybe it'll be unit card art for like a serious unit of Gungans. But like, what do you think about all this, Mike?
First, I think he's pulling everybody's leg.
Oh, you think so?
I think.
Oh man. Okay.
I don't think this is real. I would love it if it was.
I would love it if you're right now. I would find the most expensive gift basket and I would send it to AMG. I'm not even joking about that.
Sure. I mean, you may have to, do that, right?
I'd be glad to, believe me.
But I just, I don't know. I think that I'm really hoping, because like if they do Gungans, they got to do it like Wookiees, right? Where like if you want to play like a Gungan army, you're going to have to play a battle force, and you probably can't take most of the Gungan units in Republic. It's going to be like Ewoks and Wookiees, right? Probably.
So my thought actually was that, I think it says before that, like there is that series of Mon Calamari episodes in Clone Wars cartoon where they actually like do some work for the Republic. But it's not Jar Jar, it's just like some rando Gungans, and so they're working with Akbar. I could see them being like the original rebel Wookiees back in the day, where it's sort of released as just like a special forces for the Republic of, these are like Gungan deployments. It's the Gungan Foreign Legion or whatever.
Man, if you're gonna put Gungans in this game, you have to do episode 1. There's just no way. Like if you're gonna take the time to sculpt Gungans and you're not gonna do episode 1, you're insane. That's an insane thing to do.
When you put it that way, what do you think, Brian? Like, do you think it's going to be a full Battle Force style thing, or do you think that there's any other possibility?
I think we could see them being like a Wookiee situation where you could fit Gungans in the army. I would prefer to see a Battle Force because I would love to see Gungans come out. I'd love to see those Gungan riders on those the I don't know. Kadu, the Kadu. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Boss Nass. I'd love to see some.
Would he be on a notch base, do you think?
Yeah, perhaps. I don't know.
Have you guys seen that ogre from Warhammer that just like gets carted around the battlefield on like a throne?
Yeah,
and there's just like a bunch of little goblins that carry him around.
That'd be sweet. Yeah. I'd love to see some like Naboo Palace Guard.
That'd be neat. Actually,
would be really cool. And then I think I'd also like to see, obviously my favorite, my number one choice out of all of these things would be Qui-Gon. Would love to see that.
I mean, right. Like this is how you get Qui-Gon in the game, right? You make an episode 1 battle force for Gungans, and you can take Qui-Gon and like an apprentice Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And like, you get Panaka and, all the things. But most importantly, you get the big elephant shield generator guys.
For what it's worth, I see like anytime Gungans gets mentioned, it sets off the amygdala in my brain, which is like the fear and anger part of the brain. It's also closely tied to memory. And so I remember Will Schick talking about the fact that they looked at the scale of those things and that they basically said that they're way too big for Legion.
Yeah.
I think figure it out.
We can get plenty of those. We can get that flavor with like command cards or with Battle Force.
Yeah. It's some kind of a battle. Like it could be a Battle Force like built-in ability that you basically have limited visibility. The old version of limited visibility that on round 1 you just can't take big range attacks. Right. That would be insanely a big deal for a melee/range 2 focused army. And it actually, funny enough, may be a way to balance an army that has no access to long-range stuff and that has units that are like fairly squishy when you get down to it. So, you mean
like Wookiees?
Yeah, it's too bad Wookiees don't have giant shield generator dinosaurs. Too bad. But I mean that would be a brave piece of game design. But hey, like it actually probably would work out. If you know what,
you could. It'd be really cool because like you could do a lot of things. Like we have land speed, or what was it? Not land speeders. We have air speeders, right? For rebels. Maybe we could get like a Naboo fighter, and maybe we could have a young Anakin be a little a pilot.
Boy, it's really that's a lot faster and a lot more powerful than an air speeder is. So I mean I don't know. That's where it runs into trouble. God, remind me. All right. Well, I'm outnumbered here. I don't need to belabor the point that I've already made.
and this. So let me get you on our team, right?
Great. Yeah, go ahead.
You constantly complain about the fact that there is no ion in Republic. All of these units have to have ion, right?
I have complained about that before.
Like every Gungan unit just has to have ion natively.
At range 2. So let's just like slower roll here.
Well, don't they have the big? I bet you they're gonna have.
If they have the catapult, then
the catapult,
then
right?
It's different for sure.
Yeah, it's like a range 4 ion mortar.
I could see the catapult, being like a range 4 ion mortar with 3 health and t-shirt saves, because it would just like fall apart with 1 hit. But I mean,
they could have that wagon with all the giant blue balls, right? And if Jar Jar gets in contact with the wagon, they can all spill out.
Yeah, you could do like an AOE attack.
Yeah,
frontal cone.
Yeah, you guys are really your noggins are really working here, and I'm proud of you. But I still have hope that at the end of the Defticon that Will Schick is just going to like put his shades on and lean forward into the microphone and say, "By the way, Gungans are never happening ever. So don't bother asking me again."
I mean, look,
and then I would cheer.
The idea that they did Geonosians and not Gungans, like they're gonna happen. It's just a question of when.
And I hate it. All right, so
this game's gonna go on for a long, long, long time.
But just to reiterate, Brian, you're down with Gungans coming out, but if Nia Num was announced, you would be thoroughly against it. Can you remind us why that is?
No, I would love for Nia Num to come out. That way I could kill him like all the time.
What do you got? What do you got against Nian, man?
God, it's really pathologic.
This is funny because I ran a Star Wars D&D campaign, and Nian was one of the main characters.
Really?
Yeah, Brian would have hated that.
It was great.
He would have been attacking an NPC just like as the game started. It's like, all right, guys, let's start. I shoot Nian.
That would have been unfortunate.
All right, so now that we have that dark business out of the way, let's get to some slightly later business. Mike, you are always loath to admit this, but every once in a while we do get something wrong, and so this is
something wrong.
Continue. No, you were on one of these.
We'll see.
So
we'll see.
We're gonna start with the music. This is fewer than last time, actually, probably because last time was the first one that we did. But we have some corrections. First of all, we have that we did a Dark Troopers TFT mini. I said that they cannot benefit from Guardian, which was true once. It's now not true, but then is it also sort of true because Empire has no access to Guardian? You tell me. But they did take that rule out of the rule book.
Okay. Yeah,
yeah, it's like awkward. But let's see. Then I actually have to make an apology for Owen Patterline, who on, I think, the Mini Stravaganza episode that you guys did together, is that he said that Cassian Andor was newly coming out in hard plastic. He had already been out in hard plastic, Owen, so shame on you. That's 1 month of pay right there. Then we have another one that was me, where we were talking about Stormtrooper Battalion, and I talked about the defend in depth doctrine, and I casually mentioned that guy would have nobody to give tokens to in Stormtrooper Battalion, but I forgot that you can take E-webs in Stormtrooper Battalion, so he would be able to just like kind of sit back, and if you were somehow able to get orders on all three of those commanders more turns than like two of them, then you could be passing on a bunch of AMC E-webs, and then they would also be able to keep one at the end of the round, so it's not nothing. And then this is one that both of us screwed up, Mike, and I think this is actually like the worst one. Also, when we were talking about Stormtrooper Battalion, we scrambled around to try to find the doctrine that gave somebody a target 1, but we were looking in the wrong place. It's the pistol that gives target 1. So, therefore, you can, in fact, just give guns to everybody, and they would all have target 3 in that circumstance, which does
But they don't all have Exemplar and Aid.
They don't. So when I say all of them, we're really talking about the Exemplar guy and the Aid guy, which is tip of the spear. But that it is relevant, and we're actually going to and before I move on, Brian, you guys, are you maintaining the stance that you never get anything wrong on the podcast that you record, Winter Moon?
No.
Okay.
I would love to say that, but no, absolutely not. And Minor Tom and David get things wrong all the time.
Okay, and how about yourself?
No, me and Bushman are good.
Okay. Well, Bushman is composed 100% of facts, and so it's actually impossible for him to get anything wrong. But I just wanted to put your toxicity back in full display. So thank you for allowing me to do that. So next we're going to be talking a little bit about a Patreon list, a list from one of our patrons who wanted us to take a look at a Stormtrooper Battalion list. In fact, I did order these segments for reasons, because I'm a professional podcaster. And so we have this list, which is from a gentleman that goes by JayWhyte. JayWhyte also makes a lot of really sick minis, painted minis that we have put on the back of many of our episodes already. So definitely helping us with the content as well, so we appreciate him. But I have sent you two a copy of this list, so I'm just going to go over it real quick. There are a lot of upgrades, but luckily some of them are duplicated. We have, first of all, an Imperial Officer, the customizable with Academy Trained, that is the Exemplar one. Improvised Orders, the requisite command and control uplink, a Seeker Droid, and the pistol. And then we have the Imperial Agent with Platoon Commander, who is the retinue guy. So not sharing tokens in any way, but generating them on one other core trooper. And then this agent also has Trusted Agent, which I guess would issue an order to himself. And then Tenacity, Combat Armor, and the Z6 Riot Baton. That is the one with Immobilize. Then there are 5 super Stormtrooper squads. The 3 of them have the T-21, 2 of them have the HH-12, and then everybody except for one of the HH-12 also has droid poppers, which is a fun addition to this. And then they also all have targeting scopes. So there's going to be a lot of re-rolling happening for all of those super squads. Then there is something that I personally think it would be cool to see more of, because I appreciate the idea of it. It just takes a steady hand to make the execution work. But he has 2 HQ uplink strike and fade speeder bikes, and the reason why that combination works is that as long as you are taking a recover action every turn, you can functionally have a normal turn while also maintaining order control for the entire rest of the game, assuming that you actually get to shoot during that turn. So, and then we're going to round it all off with a Stormtrooper riot control squad that has Agent Callus, a pair of security droids, and then also tenacity and recon intel. So this is obviously the non-Vader super squad oriented version of Stormtrooper Battalion. And let's start with you, Mike. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting take on it. Why do we think that the platoon commander's in there instead of the guy with aid?
Well, so that was going to be my question as well. So I need to remind myself of the other. Do you guys remember the other stuff that he does aside from having retinue? Because I actually need to validate that myself. Pull that up while we talk. But a theoretical advantage would be rather that it would allow. Well, I was going to say it would allow him to split, but he doesn't have inspiring presence.
Yeah.
Because like the thing about the tip of the spear is that if you want to be sort of like getting the full efficiency out of it, that he kind of needs to hang out near the exemplar guy.
For sure.
But then that in mid to late game, that could theoretically run counter to what you actually want to do, because he also has direct core trooper.
I guess he's probably just handing it off to the Callus unit, and they're like a little tag team of melee guys, I guess.
Yeah, probably. So the other thing for the platoon commander, right? So this is the one that is sort of the most combat oriented one. He's the one that gets surge to crit and surge to block if he doesn't have it. So that means that with the combat armor, he has like Moff Gideon saves or Death Trooper saves, which is, not bad. Certainly helps him last longer. So I think the short version is that he's like an additional combat unit rather than being a guy where they're focused on the whole token sharing stuff. So it's really going to be just the exemplar guy who will be passing the tokens around. And the platoon commander also gets sharpshooter 1. But for this guy, it's really going to be all about the melee. Any other initial thoughts, Mike?
I love the HH-12.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm going to be honest. I've been playing a lot of mortars and rockets in Republic since the hashtag uncumbersome
since
movement.
We did it.
We
did it, everybody. Just want to remind you.
It's much more reasonable, I think, to take those, specifically the mortar. But I think in this situation, like the HH-12 with just like regular Stormtrooper unit, very reasonable. You just throw in 3 white dice instead of 3 black. Big whoop, right?
Brian, what do you think of this list?
So I also really, really like the HH-12s. I think they're great. I do see his desire to do the platoon commander, because one thing that Stormtrooper Battalion in general doesn't have is a really good linebacker. And so if you've got like a Vader or a Dooku or an Op Luke that's diving into your lines, you got a whole bunch of white dice that you can throw at them, and with these super squads. But if your riot troopers aren't quite in the correct position, then you got your added redundancy there with the Imperial agent that's a platoon commander with the riot baton. Yeah. And so I think it's a good hedge. I like that. I also like the speeder bikes. I'm interested. I feel like as the way the Empire has been played, everyone's kind of written off the speeder bikes. I'm still very, very speeder bike curious in the Empire faction. I wonder. I still wonder if a quad bike Blizzard Force with 2 HQs on 2 bikes is viable. I don't know. I haven't tried it out, but I've really liked speeder bikes. Every time I've played swoops, I've enjoyed swoops. I think there's room for them, and so I'm interested to see how this goes.
So real quick, it is all of the attack dice get downgraded. So
chalk another one up for Mike and not Evan.
There we go. Save myself a correction for later on. Nice work, Michael. But yeah, I like you're right about the bike thing. I think that currently the best speeder bike list in Empire is actually Tempest Force, because there you can run. And I did this in my league at like locally, and it did pretty well. But there you can run one bike that is theoretically able to get direct from Marquand, or just get orders from the command cards, and then 2 with HQ and Strike and Fade. And then that allows you to have all 6 of your vehicles, if you're doing triple walker, triple bike, up on round 1, which allows you to actually have like an appropriate alpha with the right timing that you want with that list. I do think that order control is like ultimately the thing that often screws up speeder lists in general. The advantage of the old Blizzard Force was that it hit so hard on round 1, and it had so many like backup plans that it didn't need to have perfect order control in order to like do its thing with that list. But yeah, like 15 points is not nothing, but in order to actually like do what you want when you want with those units, I think that it's well worth it. So, and yeah, I agree. Is like now once you think about it more and you realize what he's doing, I think that platoon commander makes more sense. I do wonder if that trusted agent is truly worth it compared to the other option you would have, which would be to put Inspiring Presence on him instead, which would allow him to actually split up his army if he ever needed to. Like if he was in a breakthrough situation and he wanted at least a couple of his corps to have access to a Courage 2 bubble, then it would allow him to do that. And if it's like that versus getting 2 aims on 1 turn, like 2 aims in an order on 1 turn once. And I feel like being able to split is maybe worth a little bit more. But otherwise, Mike, the thing about this list is that it's obviously very, it's by design very upgrade heavy, right? Because it invests a lot into those 5 Stormtrooper super squads and then also the Callus squad. It still ends up at 10x with a lot of wounds. So when you look at these super squad upgrades, like do you think that there's anything that could be done to like switcheroo some of these points around, or do you kind of like where he ended up?
I think I think the EMP droid poppers, I don't love them if you're not like taking Imperial March. Because I do think like storms, when you give them charge, the droid poppers would be maybe more defensible.
Yeah.
I don't love them in a situation where you can't give your unit charge. So I would just rip all the droid poppers out of the list for starters. I also think that there's like 2 to 3 too many copies of targeting scopes.
Yeah. I think so.
I'm not sure you need to pay for it 5 times. I don't hate like somewhere between 1 and 3, so that you can spend the aims. You get a little bit more value off the aim tokens you're sharing. But I don't think this list is not generating enough shared aims for 5 units to really be taking advantage.
Coordinated fire would be the only round when you would get to use all of those targeting scopes.
Because the officer is really, it's generating what, 2 aims,
three aims
target,
with the order,
3 aims with the order.
pistol. Yeah,
sure. And then you can aim himself, spotter, I guess. So I
He
guess
can
that is 5.
He can strategize aim.
Yeah. But that assumes that the officer's not moving,
right?
Which is a little loose.
He probably is going to need to. He's probably going to be a move strategize.
Yeah, and the targeting scopes just means like you're only giving up 1 extra die on whatever unit is maybe taking that using that 5th aim.
Usually a white dice also.
Not, I mean, in this list, it's not usually. It's like,
well, the HH12 may sometimes be a black die, but
I mean, I think you leave the targeting scopes on the HH12s.
Okay,
personally, I don't know if you agree with that, Brian, but
I don't know. I've been shot with the Stormtrooper squad with targeting scopes with aim, and they, even if they don't use the targeting scopes or even shoot at all for the first 2 rounds, once they're on POIs and they have enough bodies that they're going to be on POIs, and then they can aim, shoot, and aiming and shoot with that pool and the amount of crits that come out of there, it's painful. One of our locals, Adam Slaber's been running it. He's been running it with lats, and a couple of riots, and I really like the list. The amount of crits, my armor pieces, it makes them very sad. but and so I don't necessarily think it's bad. I would definitely run it like this and then run it leaner like you're talking about and see if those targeting scopes, if you felt like they were absolutely necessary. I do think that you have to play this list very carefully, because if your opponent has units that are fast enough, and move far enough and do enough damage to take out your officer and your agent, you are really up a creek. Like you're in a huge.
You're kind of just dead.
You're just dead. You just lose the game. And so you have to position very carefully and make sure that they are well protected, because the minute those guys go down, it's over.
Yeah.
I'm actually, like, I'm looking at this and I'm even wondering about, like, the possibility of dropping, so if you drop 2 scopes and then if you also drop the seeker droid and you drop recon intel on the riot control squad, then that's 3 times 8 that you're getting back. And then you could give Imperial March to all 3 of the T-21 Stormtroopers.
I do like that. I do like that.
Because they're going to want to be up there. Like, somebody has to be up there, right? And, like, you look at this, and obviously the platoon commander and the riot squad are going to want to be up there, and the speeders will sort of want to be up there, but they're going to want to be up there, like, away from all of the rest of your opponent's attack dice, because the speeder bikes are one of the quickest ways to not be anywhere anymore. And so those T-21s are going to need to be contesting, like, front points. And if they're doing that, then Imperial March gets you there faster and also gives you a charge option. You could even keep the droid poppers in that sense, to have a charging ion attack if it was going to be useful to you. And I think that would give you more chances at a victory condition than having those like little extra bits that you would be getting from all those other things that I'm taking away. Is that if you just kind of put Imperial March on there in triplicate, then you have a more mobile and more like adjustable army that can shift if it needs to. Because the thing that I think we've been saying over and over again about Stormtrooper Battalion is that the margin for error from a movement perspective is basically 0.
It takes a lot of practice. I think it takes a lot of practice. I do think it has the potential to be one of the strongest, if not the strongest, Empire battle force.
Think you could be stronger than Remnant?
So that's been a topic of debate between me and Adam, who's one of our locals. But I think Remnant is still stronger, but he disagrees, and I think his points are very valid. I do like the idea of the seeker droid, because you're rolling red dice with your speeder bikes, and observe tokens for me are best with surging blacks or reds. I mean, you don't want to use that for a white reroll, right?
Right.
But at the same time, I would personally leave the Seeker Droid out because it does mean if you want to get value out of it, that, I mean, well, maybe he's just using it for defense. If that's the case,
it's an extra. It's a shield token.
It is a shield token, so maybe it is helpful for him. It keeps it way far back.
Sure.
And I might leave it at home and look for another way to spend that 8 points, since I'm going to be trying to keep this guy as safe as possible anyway. I really don't want him to get shot. But I don't really know what I'd be replacing it with yet either, because I haven't delved into list building with this particular battle force yet.
Yeah, it's tough because if you cut a lot of upgrades, then you could get enough points back that you could buy yourself another naked Stormtrooper squad. But I'm not sure how much that actually helps your victory condition. Just because the way the game functions now is that pure activation padding when you're already going to be on the low end is not actually doing all that much for you because of the way that pass token mechanics work. So yeah, this maybe a couple of suggestions on the edges, but otherwise, like I will be very curious about how this list works out. Have any of you seen Battalion being played at all, by the way, yet? Like at the tournament that you're about to talk to, did that show up?
No, Battalion didn't show up, but I've been playing against, so we're in the team league. The Indianapolis Garrison has a team league, and Adam Slaper's been playing it. And I played against him once here in my basement. He was running double lats and double riots, and then super squads of the Stormtroopers.
Okay.
Right. And I mean, it packs a punch. It really does. And so it's, I think when played carefully and using your movement carefully, the lats actually give you a little bit more freedom with that than just having straight Stormtrooper squads, to be honest. But
got it.
I liked it. I was surprised and hurt at how much those crits
hurt.
They just come through. It's like, oh, that's 7 crits. Okay, good.
Wow. I didn't know that you had feelings too hurt, Brian. I'm surprised.
There it is. There it is.
Have you seen it or heard about it at all locally, Mike?
No, I mean, frankly, we don't really have any Empire players locally.
You chased them all away.
Well, you do what you can, right? And I expect to probably see it when I go up to Pennsylvania next. But yeah, no, I haven't played against it. But I do think it definitely has the possibility of being very strong, I think.
Yeah, I want to play against it. It was sort of funny that, like, when I went down to Portland, that there were, I think, 3 or 4 212 armies and 0 Stormtrooper battalions. So go figure.
I do think it's a battle force that has some primaries that it's going to really like, and also I think there's some primaries that it really doesn't like. And so it'll be really, that turn 0 is going to be really important for Stormtrooper battalion players if they want to take it to a high level.
Yeah, which makes it sound sort of rough when you consider the fact that half the time you're not going to have any, or that you're going to have relatively little agency in terms of determining what the primary is. And so, like, the list that have a lot of trouble functioning on like 2 or more primaries, like that's where I sort of get into nervous territory. But we will have to see. It's early. We are going to actually be talking about some of like the first data sets soon. But first of all, Brian, mentioned a second ago that you were just in a tournament a few days ago. So tell us all about it.
Yeah, it was a Peoria, Illinois tournament. Sorry, my voice is so raspy. It's because I was yelling at my opponents all day on Saturday.
Oh, shocking.
Good.
Yeah, and it was really cool because Hank, who runs Adepticon, was there, and it was all of his terrain. It was at his local store. And a pleasant surprise as I walked in, I got to see Josh Hale there. who's one of the head judges at Gen Con and Adepticon. And so,
oh yeah,
like, what are you doing here?
Okay,
so
cool.
It was awesome. It was really cool to see them and to be able to hang out with them and meet Hank. I hadn't met Hank before, and it was just a lot of fun.
He's a super nice guy, and he's super into it. He's just like really into it in a super genuine way, which is really refreshing.
Yeah, it was awesome. And there was a pizza shop right next door to the store that it was a blizzard outside the entire time we played. All 6 of us Indiana guys drove, got the tail end of the blizzard, got there. It snowed probably 5 inches while we were in there playing, and then it stopped at about 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and then we drove home. And luckily the roads were well plowed, so it was okay.
I was lucky.
It was awesome though. It was super fun. It was 19 players, and the top 3 lists were rebels, and all 3 lists had a super squad with Cassian.
What? You're kidding me.
Yeah. I think, let me double check. I know that Matt Evans is running the Cassian with Rebel Troopers, and it looks like the other guy who is also 3-0, Michael Los, was running a fleet super with a scattergun with Cassian and recon intel. So, that's the first iteration that I had. I wanted recon intel with him as well. But I ended up going with Stims because Stims is
duh.
Nice. Why not just like keep him alive even longer?
I also put barrier on Luke because
barrier on Luke, man. It's been a long time since Luke was, carrying barrier around. Like that was since like Old Legion.
Yeah.
In the era of just
in the before times.
5. Yeah.
Exactly.
Some more civilized age.
So my list was it's got 2 buses loaded to the gills. Both of them have the unorthodox tactician. They both have the quad gun. They both have HQs. One of them has a hotshot pilot, and the other one has Ryder Azadi.
Yeah, actually, the more I look at this list, it's pretty toxic. So I apologize to everybody else for what I said earlier.
And they both have door gunners as well.
Yeah.
I've got 3 three fleet troopers with astromechs to make sure those buses stay alive. I've got Bad Batch.
Q toxicity.
Yeah.
This is the same garbage you've been playing for years, Brian.
It is. But now I've got Bad Batch in there and Cassian. So I've got a rebel officer to help. He's the proven tactician, so I can share tokens with Exemplar, Ripgar. And then I also have improvised orders on him, the blaster pistol with a thermal detonator, because that one-time shot of 5 reds and a white with potential pierce is fantastic.
You're bringing me back to the entire podcast segment that we did about how dumb that is. But go ahead, continue.
And so with the proven tactician, he gets to reinforce a core unit that happens to be within range 1 of him at the end of the round. So Cassian usually gets to go forward further.
Oh, cool.
And there's nothing better than using Luke's Serve Your Master Well on a Cassian super squad of the fleet.
That's pretty good.
Good. Sounds pretty dumb. Is what it sounds
really
like.
Dumb. It's really dumb. There was multiple times where I used that card turn 2 and problems were made.
The Cassian upgrade allows you to do that with little to no downside, right? Like there's now this situation where you're like, okay, I'm just gonna like stick this unit out there at the end of turn 1. I'm definitely gonna serve it because they're not gonna kill it full to dead.
Right.
And because they can't kill it full to dead, it just does the thing, right? Like, and serve just make sure that you get to attack twice with it.
Yep.
Man, yeah.
It's funny because like up until now, the fact that Bad Batch, is blocked out of serve because it's an operative had been sort of like the only that was otherwise like the most attractive die pool in the Rebel Army to be able to, from a trooper anyway, to be able to activate twice. But then, yeah, this stupid Cassian super comes around, and all of a sudden you have like a really good target for it.
Serving
the super fleet was like good before. Also,
it was good before, but also the sleeper cell, serving sleeper cell is fantastic.
Oh yeah, that's
too.
right. That's pretty good too.
Yeah,
they're just like, you don't need to take redundancy now. You can just take the Cassian unit, right? Before it was like, okay, if I want to serve a sleeper squad, I need 2 or 3. Right, like to reliably,
because one of them may just be dead.
One of them may just die, right?
Yeah.
Whereas now you're just like, shoot the squad that is gonna be
go ahead, buddy,
ripping you up, right? It's just gonna shoot you back. I am curious. Like, I feel like we've only seen 2 other upgrades like this in the game before, and those 2 upgrades being 5s and Ahsoka. How Brian? You've obviously played, Cassian a few times now. Is that a apt comparison, or do you feel like it's falls flat?
I think it's an apt comparison because Cassian does die. Like in almost all of my games, like he died by like usually round 3. If my opponent wanted to focus him down, there's a couple times where my opponent decided to ignore him. I don't think that's the right approach, personally, because he really does just delete an act every single time he goes. But yeah, I mean, you focus him down, he will die. He's got white saves, and when he's on the side that I want him to be on, he gets uncanny luck 1. Woo! Like it doesn't go off that often. Sure. And so, whereas I do think he does better damage than the 5s and the Ahsoka units, he dies way faster. And so I do think it's fairly comparable.
Yeah, I mean, for a second I was like, he does better damage than a 5 super squad with a shotgun, but actually I think he does, technically.
I mean, particularly in a setup like this where he's got probably better aim backup than 5s with.
Yeah.
5s is like, I can only get 1 aim token. Cassian over here is like, I maybe have 2 or 3, right? I mean, depending on the turn.
Depending on the turn, and if I was able to get my new Rebel advantage, which is awesome with the 9-act list, because I always have tokens. Well, sorry, I always have tokens the first 2 rounds. After round 2, the act count starts to get evened out pretty quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Unfortunately, all of my opponents were awesome guys. There was one guy that was playing a list like yours, Evan. His name is Noah. He's just a gem of a guy. And he had some unlucky dice on the top of round 2. I played Serve Your Master Well, and I won the roll off and got to go first. And I pulled Cassian out of the bag and used my token to get Cassian an aim and a dodge. Cassian moved and shot and did 1 shot Grievous, wheel by Grievous.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, there are multiple units in this list that can do
that. 1 shot reliably?
1 shot.
I mean, I think between Cassian and Luke can both probably take out Grievous in a single activation.
He's immune melee pierce though, so like Luke isn't actually going to do it all that fast. Cassian having a range pierce actually makes him better than Luke is.
That's fair.
It's a lot better.
I honestly forgot he had immune melee pierce, man. It's so silly.
What's funny is that in 2 tournaments, it's actually literally never come up.
Sure.
Because the only times that he's been meleeed by a Jedi was when it was Dooku or Asajj. So they were like piercing me anyway. But yes, it's a good thing. Yeah, so Brian, why is Cassian the cheapest of the new character upgrades?
I don't know.
You're being recorded right now.
I have no idea. He's so good.
I mean, so biases aside, do you think his cost is fair?
No.
Okay. I mean, the reason I'm asking this question is because last time me and you talked about this, you said you answered that question with probably.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it was definitively yes, but you seem to be leaning towards like, yes, he's like probably costed fairly. I'm interested to why your opinion has changed on
that. So there's a number of reasons. So because I was in the early stages of testing this list out and testing him out in general. And I didn't play him optimally, if I can say that word. I didn't play him optimally. And he was always dying round 2 or round 3. And so he just wasn't killing enough to be like, yeah, this guy needs to go up in points. But as I've played this list more and more and become more and more careful on how he's used, yeah, he needs to be 32 points instead of 22. And that's where I would start.
God, is he 22? I thought he was like 25 or 28 or something.
I think he's 22.
Good Lord.
He's cheap.
Yeah. He's 25. Okay, so yeah. That's still pretty bad.
I would start him at 35 and kind of go from there.
35 sounds way more appropriate. Maybe just switcheroo the point cost between him and Kraken as like a starting point for
him and Rex. Come on.
And then no, Rex needs to be more like 15, Mike. Who are we kidding? Yeah, no. I forget what podcast it was that there was somebody who was like talking about Rex in a way that was even like the most mildly positive, and I was just like, no. We need to keep a united front about this. He's terrible.
Did you see that rule though? That if Rex kills a unit, then he does like what I can't remember what the ruling was. It was something like it does a little bit of a boost for him. Like he can kill a unit and then
if he kills multiple units, he gets multiple actions.
That's it. That's what it was. Yeah.
But like that is like such magic Christmas land that you're just like hanging out in. That like you're gonna kill multiple units in a single activate. Like, don't get me wrong. Like you can probably set up situations like that, but
why?
But like if you're killing multiple units in an activation, so you
can do 2. We can do an extra move.
Do 2 extra moves, right?
I mean, yeah, sure, but like
I could see it happening round 4. You know, yeah. When things are low, Rex is tough enough that he's going to last that long, whereas Cassian's not.
I think it's one of those things where like, yes, I agree. Is Payne what? Is he 40?
38,
points?
I think.
38 points for that effect to maybe trigger once. It's like,
no, I'd start him at 30, and then I'd put Cassian at 32. I don't know about 35. I'd start Cassian at 32 and work from there.
If anybody out there does a double kill with a Rex unit and then does a move and a box grab with the new secondary, then just like let me know and I'll send you a prize from the 5th Trooper.
You have to prove it. You have to like have your opponent like sign a picture.
Yeah. So take a picture. with a can of Mountain Dew Baja Blast visible within the picture, so that we know that you're really listening. Do you have one right now? By the way, Brian, I'm not rocking one today.
I'm just a 0.
Okay. So yeah, Brian's not feeling the cool breeze of nighttime Baja Blast. He's here to.
I am. My wife got mad for me drinking too many of them. She's like, "Those are mine."
That's hilarious.
They're good.
Yeah, they're great. We're not yet sponsored by PepsiCo, by the way, or whoever makes that, but we're open to it. And then other than that, like this is pretty much the most expensive Luke Skywalker that you can get. You put push and speed and barrier and tenacity on him.
Yeah.
Doesn't get any more expensive than that. I feel like Luke has been in a little bit of sort of a quiet place lately.
I mean, what you mean nobody plays him ever except some dude named Brian?
That's another way to say it. So like, let me ask you this: if Serve didn't exist, would you be playing Luke Skywalker in this list?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Why?
Yeah, because so I'll be honest. Like, I mean, I love Luke. I love what
it's
he
9
can
activations.
Do. It is 9 activation. I love the fact that he can affect the game in such a significant way without even swinging dice. And I like it to where he can swing dice and like a lot of them. And so I tank him up with aims from the buses, and he's got the tenacity, and he goes to town and he rips through full unit of aquas with a Son of Skywalker attack. If he has a couple of aims, you know, like, and so it's just
he must be rolling pretty well. That's statistically not likely.
It's true.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're on the same
page. When you microwave the black dice just right, then you'll get 6 on them every time, and then the aqua is destroyed with 1 Son of Skywalker. I'm telling you,
it was yeah,
but I mean you're still shaving 2 off each of those attacks.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's still only like 8 or 10 Pierce 4.
Yeah, you'd have to get like 6 crits each time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the likelihood of killing an aqua.
Were you like telling your opponents? You know those aqua droids, they're 1 health each, right? Just wanted to make sure you knew. I've been around this game for a while, so let me tell you that you just like lean in and you're like, those aquas are gone. I killed them.
Them. That's what happened.
And then as your opponent's hand shakes, they take the aqua droids, and then you yell at the top of your lungs, yeah! And that's why your voice is so hoarse right now. That's just how you operate.
You want to know what can kill an aqua folded dead, though? It's a Cassian.
Cassian Andor. Yeah.
With like free aim tokens? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's why Mike and I have said for a while that the best impact is having 80 billion dice. And then you don't need to worry about impact anymore.
Yeah. You do have to get kind of lucky on his if you have aims on him, because if you hit all 4 of the reds, the aims don't feel great. You know?
Sure.
Yeah.
And so the aims really only feel good when you blank one of those reds. And so I don't often put aims on him, to be honest. I put aims on Bad Batch, I put aims on Luke, and I put aims on my buses.
But you're activating him early most of the time, right? So your tacticians aren't going to have a lot of time to get aims on him.
Right. But I do give him the aim from my token if I have the good one. So
yeah, like is this a list that you're going to keep messing around with, or are you just like moving on to the next thing now?
No, it's a
real work in progress.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. I lost like the first 6 games I played with this list, but it was just so much fun. I was just like, I don't care if I'm losing. I'm enjoying it, and I learned that if I lose a bus round 1, I pretty much lose the game every single time. And so I've learned that I just put my buses on the very board edge and recover.
And so hope your opponent doesn't have land speeders with unstable astromech, you know?
Well, I do have my officer with dodges. If I have a land speeder, then I'm actually not concerned about getting the new rebel advantage. I'm actually shooting for cunning deployment at that point, because I want I put a dodge on my officer and then a dodge on each bus, and then the officer comes out and he takes another dodge, and so now all of a sudden I can weather a little bit of a storm. But land speeders are still very painful. I have played that list into double land speeder, and I did okay, but it's only because Bad Batch and Luke and Cassie carried it. So
are you
this list is stupid, by the way.
I'm sure. Yeah, because like with outflank, you're doing your 2 buses, and are you just like also doing Super Cassian, or like what are you doing as your 3rd one?
No, I
Or
just
Luke?
I did two fleets with astromechs and 2 buses. Or
Okay.
sorry, 2 fleets with astromechs and 1 bus.
And so then one of those fleets will also be your third Vanguard in that situation.
Right. Yeah. And so I basically flood that side of the board with 2 buses and 3 fleets. And then and I just keep the fleets safe from like behind the buses and stuff. And then just throw them into melee on the Vanguard point if they really want to contest it hard. And I just ignore the middle completely. And then Luke, Bad Batch, my officer, and Cassian just destroy their Vanguard.
Yeah, I think the more I have thought about it, the more I think it's all about the countercharge, man. You just countercharge their Vanguard point and destroy them.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree. Like, I think that I every once in a while just like sort of thought about outflank, and I've just like realized that it's all about just making your opponent regret the decision that they made with their own Vanguard units. And it's made me think more and more that, like in a list like mine, that the play is to just like slap it on your geos and then run for the hills for your home point. To just like join the rest of your army and just forget all about trying to actually capture the point that's close to their deployment zone, like to capture your own left side point. Focus on screwing up their left side point, your right side point, and then get your vanguards to the home where they can be with the rest of your army and hopefully be safe. I think that's actually the way to go, and that there are a few units that like can hang if they're sort of on their own, and like big boy vehicles are one of them. So like a bus with a fleet that's hiding behind it and healing it is definitely something that does work. But I think that there's a lot of armies where outflank is terrible for them because they have no good options. And then if you're running outflank in your list, then it often does mean that you have a countercharger like a wheelbike Grievous. And so if your opponent has bad choices and then wheelbikes coming in for them, then it's almost feeling like a game over situation before the cards come down.
Yeah. But one thing I just like, I'm so hot on this new objective. Even as a red player, like I'm hot on outflank because the ways it can be played is so drastically different each time. Because like say I'm against you, Evan, and you're playing your wheelbike Grievous, and I pick a bus and 2 fleets, and you pick vanguards that's not Grievous. Now I know I have a pretty good idea that you're going to smash my vanguards, and so now I know where I want to put Luke and Cassian to be able to kind of help defend that a little bit. And it just I just love that. I think the depth of that primary is a little is deeper than most of the other primaries.
I think it's way deeper than any of the other primaries.
Yes,
I think without a doubt.
Yeah.
Like the mind games you can play with it, and the way that you can, like, once you have accepted the like optimal way to play this is to smash your opponent's vanguard, like you can get into some serious mind games in the like turn 1 deployment.
Absolutely.
Where things get kind of wild.
Yeah, it's fun. I
think the breakthrough has always kind of been like that, because your splitting decision often also determines how that game turns out.
I don't disagree, but I think in the situation with outflank, like you can in a way that doesn't happen with breakthroughs, you can still deploy units where they can get to both places.
Yeah.
Whereas breakthrough is just like once you're committed, you're committed. And in an outflank, I feel like that sort of happens like a turn later.
Yeah.
You can kind of keep some flexibility if you want to like not get red face up on the table. Particularly if you have mobile units.
Yeah, I agree that you can flex. You can start mid and flex aggressive on their vanguard, or start kind of between your mid and vanguard point, and then flex really hard and go to their mid if their vanguard looks like it's just going to be too hard to break. And yeah.
Particularly like if you have like the rebel reinforcements guy and like one step ahead, and like you can like generate like a lot of extra moves and stuff to kind of like all of a sudden like end of turn you were here, start of the next turn you're like way over there.
Yeah.
You know, there's just some weird stuff you can do.
Another thing I didn't mention from Portland is that I was also surprised at how slow outflank can be if everybody's vanguards just like die early on or don't get to sort of establish a foothold. Because then it scores like shifting priorities, but they don't even move. So you don't get to sort of like coalesce these points that are in the back that now nobody except one person is ever going to contest anymore. So I feel like in both the games of Outflank that I had, there was never any Vanguard scoring because they all just like died before they could score on POIs. And so it just became this like dragged out knuckle fight over only 4 scoring points. That, you know, usually one of the sides is going to be one person and the other side is going to be the other person. If that's not the case, then that game is probably over already. And so then like your secondary weirdly becomes like the way that you're going to get an advantage. So that part did surprise me, is that shifting priorities can also be really slow if you're tying on a bunch of them. But this can be even more so because it's only 4 points instead of 5. And I just sort of wasn't really expecting that.
I really hope that we continue to see primaries where the average that you score on a given turn is closer to 2 than 3.
To 2 than 3, yeah.
Because I think there's a couple things about that. First, games tend to not finish on turn 4 if you're scoring 2 points off primary each turn. Additionally, I think it makes the secondaries way more interesting.
Yeah.
If they proportionally are closer to like 50% of your score as opposed to like a third. You know, it all of a sudden makes being able to play secondaries like way more important. Not that it isn't already important, but it's sort of like, I think on Outflank, like some of the secondaries become the primary.
Like bring them to heal on Outflank would basically be your primary, because that you're going to have more potential points from that. In all honesty, so very cool stuff. It makes me think a little bit that it makes me excited for what the other battle cards are. But it also makes me a little bit sad that we're not going to see those before Adepticon. But I have faith that they are doing that for a good reason, and that decision's definitely been made. So, but yeah, thanks for telling us about that, Brian. We're going to shift a little bit to sort of talking about the meta in general. It's still early on, but we have we're a month in to the points adjustments. So I'm going to pull out my other NPR music. Let's do the numbers. So let's see. The initial signs are that everything's fine now. To be more specific, if you're on the YouTube channel, then you'll be able to see this. But to call out to the folks listening to the podcast is that we have about 350 to 400 games per faction. For the main 4 factions, we're going to leave Shadow Collective totally out of it. They appear to be floundering, but that's only 64 total games. But everybody is between 48 and 55. That 55 actually being the faction of toxicity itself, the Rebel Alliance, that is turning things up. That very tournament, because these numbers are from today, that very tournament that you were talking about may have scooched that up by a percentage point for all we know. So let's just start there. Right now, to put things in perspective, the numbers that we had at the end of June were basically 10 times, a little under 10 times the power in terms of statistical power of the numbers that we have now, because that was based off of like 2,600 per faction. So we're at 350 to 400, obviously still early, but enough to show some signs. Brian, do you think it's possible that Rebels are going to be the strongest faction going into Adepticon?
I think it's possible. It depends on how prevalent the Wheelbite Grievous list gets, because I think everyone, there are players that haven't played into that usually get steamrolled pretty hard. But I think that the minute that you've played into it once, it's a lot easier to cut the damage down. It's still going to hurt. It's still going to be really painful. But if you can limit the amount of round one attacks that list can do to you, then you're feeling way better. Whereas if you play Legion like you normally do, and you're like, okay, I'm going to throw this unit out, I'm going to take a shot, and you're like, oh wow, that unit got shot 3 times by stabs and 2 aquas, and then Grievous got to him. Oh, okay. Like it's kind of a rude awakening, and realizing, like, as players play against it and be like, okay, range bands are really important against this list. Then we might see a drop in that CIS win rate. But until that happens, I think CIS win rate is going to be pretty good.
Probably. It's funny. I keep looking at CIS lists, and they're either Wheelbite Grievous or regular Grievous, which is sort of surprising to me that I feel like I'm not seeing as much Dooku or and like 0 EXD out there, basically, as of right now. But what do you think, Miley? What if you had to bet on what faction is going to be on top of these numbers as we go into Adepticon? Do you think it's still going to be Rebels by then?
I'm willing to say 2 things. I think probably not, but if Rebels are on top, it's because of Cassian. I feel
he will be in more. I'm going to say this. I think he's going to be in more lists than Aqua Droids were.
Ooh.
Assuming that more people play Rebels than Separatists, I think I would agree with that.
Yeah.
With that being said,
yeah,
my expectation is that Separatists are probably going to end up on top, and I think it's on the back of lists that we haven't really seen yet, frankly. I think your list is very killy. I think it's like iteration 1 of the Techno Force, and I think my suspicion is that lists with multiple super attacks that are able to engineer situations similar to the one you engineer, but are perhaps less fragile and more.
They would have more tricks also.
More keyed into the tricks, right? Yeah. Like they're going to have multiple overclocks, and multiple of the suppression bombs, and that combined with some of the things that your list is doing, I think is a road that I don't think we've seen anybody quite figure out what the correct units and stuff is for it. I think it's possible it doesn't include Aqua Droids at all.
Now I agree. Yeah.
I'm not going to claim to know what that list looks like yet, but I think that there is something out there that has not been found yet that is more techno-y than the present Techno Force, and is likely more consistent because of it. And I think that once that gets figured out, I think Separatists are going to just be blowing everybody out of the water. Until then, my expectation is the Separatists are probably going to be kind of pretty even with Rebels. But I think the Techno Force powers are too good for the Separatists to not have a runaway train win rate at some point.
I need to play against, because I've played against a sort of a Sabine Ahsoka list and an Echo Base list and Ewoks with this, and in all of those lists, like, Grievous was able to get in there and just like do the full Jedi arts, which is especially rough against Rebels compared to most other factions when you're able to get all those attacks off, and you're able to get all the suppression on, and
it's like pre-agile.
Right, it's pre-agile. It's like even the Jedi arts attacks themselves, which usually don't do all that much, will actually do quite a bit against rebels, especially if you've like gotten them behind cover. And so, like, I feel like it hasn't been stress tested against like aside from Ewoks, like the rebel lists that are really sort of fully optimized for the meta right now. So definitely curious about how that's going to go. You know, my baseline thinking is that because of how strong the Jedi Arts is, that Rebels is a good matchup. But that, you know, short of just like getting alphaed by a series of fairly lucky dice rolls that you had to get, Brian, is that Grievous would be able to get that off against your list again, because it's very focused on like power pieces that are also not going to get all that affected by Jedi Arts. It probably wouldn't hurt you that much either. It's better against the swarmy lists where you're able to like hamper 60% of the list with one command card basically for an entire round. So
and with my officer is also Courage 3. And
yeah.
And
so they're not going to be.
If he was Courage 2, then it'd actually still be a problem, even if he didn't kill very much. It'd still be a huge problem.
Yeah.
I am interested to see how your list holds up against like a pretty solid like Bad Batch, like Rex Super, Ahsoka Super situation.
That also still doesn't happen.
Because I think there's a chance that you just throw a bunch of dice into like a super squad. They take like 5 to 6 casualties over the course of like somewhere between 2 and 4 shots, and then they just start like one-shotting your stuff.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, oh,
I would need to be way more careful against a list like that.
You know?
Yeah. I Am a Jedi comes into play really, really strong against those kinds of lists, though.
That's also fair. I think I Am a Jedi is probably very strong against that list. Yeah, I definitely think like I think we've only seen the first evolution of what is the separatist meta presently.
I think you're right. I was actually pulling up the Saint Laurent Open that happened a couple months ago because in this one, this was the one that was it was won by the guy who was doing the Cad Bane list.
Mm-hmm.
And so, oh my gosh, that's the X-Wing one. We don't want X-Wing.
I can see AAAT making a resurgence with the point drop. As much as I hate saying it, AAAT is annoying to play into, but with that point drop, I can see them making a resurgence for sure.
Well, it's also worth noting that I actually think, like, again, I'm going to go back to the super tax. Like, when the AAT doesn't have to move on its own turn, it can just barrage every turn, and then something else moves it for free.
And barraging is really strong when you are already on the place that you need to be. Like, you can just get so much done by just barraging.
You know, and like, you're like, okay, great. I shoot twice. My super tack moves me to, you know, I didn't even need to be the place, because, yeah.
So I found the list I was thinking of. That, by the way, it was Paul Jones who ran that list that happened to have Cad Bane, and then also a couple of Aqua Droids that were too cheap. But that in that tournament there was somebody who went 4-1 that goes by Jeffrey T. It's one of the Canadian players, and so he ran Kalani regular Grievous because Wheelbike I don't think was out yet, and then, or I guess maybe he was, but he just wasn't being run there. And then he had 2 of the Super Tac auxiliary command droids where they both had Seek and Destroy. They both had Slice Comms. They both had Overclock. They both had Steady. And then they both had Electrostaff. So, like, all the stuff that makes them just, like, really annoying units. And then it was backed up by some Ion Spiders and an Aqua and an AAT. So that list actually, funny enough, would be 2 points cheaper now than it was when he played it. So because the AT got cheaper, then the Aqua Droid got expensive. So go figure. So I mean, you know, he went 4-1. That obviously did very well. I haven't seen anybody else sort of try anything like that yet. And then, you know, you think about the fact that there could be triple super tac squads out there, At that point, I feel like you're starting to get into the zone of they become fairly killable hot targets that don't have enough like distraction beef in front of them to keep them safe from enemy fire. I feel like 2 might be the sweet spot if you're going to be abusing those abilities. But even just like double stack lists, we definitely have not seen very many of them, and that could be the answer.
I mean, I think I agree with you there. I think that like suppression heavy CIS lists are like they could be very good because now you've got pretty cheap droidicas, and you can compound that with your better Jedi mind trick Techno Force boys, significantly better Jedi mind trick. They're not even Jedi. Yeah,
in my heart.
I know, right? Yeah. I'm feeling it.
Also, better Jedi reflexes and a much cheaper force push while we're at it.
Yeah. So you combine those with some droidica shots, and then just some other bunch of bodies, and then some quick geos that can get onto points that cause your opponent some hesitation for POIs, and all of a sudden things start to fall into place really well for you.
It's funny that when we first got the full card reveal of the super tax, I think that I don't want to speak for you, Mike, but I certainly looked at that 20-point suppressive gun, and I was like, that thing's way too expensive. What's going on here? But then, like when you sort of like do the math and you realize why it's that expensive, because on top of the steady upgrade and slice comms and a natural demoralize, is that you literally have command card list 5 suppression bomb every round, and then for 1 round, a 7 suppression bomb, because you get the extra demoralize 2 and the 1 pip, which is, again, I've said this before, that is more suppression than Dooku puts out on his 1 pip. He puts out 6, assuming he doesn't like kill anybody. And this freaking super tack with a dumb steady gun is putting out 7. It's wild. And Dooku has to split that 6 between 2 targets, by the way. This guy could just like put 7 suppression on whoever you want. And then you're like you're 1 regular shot away from panicking Yoda away from 0. So
yeah. Hey Han Solo, that's a cool reckless diversion card. Cool.
Right.
Why don't I just take that away from you?
Yeah. No. Man, it's and yeah. Actually, what's funny is that Isaiah has talked about that kind of list a lot, because that's what Caitlin has been playing against him at home. Is just like a total suppression bomb. Yeah. And given that Isaiah is playing clones all the time, he's decently susceptible to it, because in most clone lists, there's going to be a couple targets that you're very incentivized to just like suppression the absolute crap out of them. That are very expensive units that are then just like sometimes not even activating that round. It's pretty wild. Like the maybe funny enough, the one thing holding it back is that tactic is not all that useful against vehicle heavy droid lists, right? Because it means that sometimes you're going to be able to panic like B1s and have them not contribute to points or whatever, but you know, the vehicles they literally never care about that. And unless you're panicking, nobody else is going to care about the whole suppression bit either. And so it's sort of like weirdly the one thing holding that list back is itself. So otherwise, looking at these numbers, Gar, we'll talk about Gar in a second, but Empire has, at least for now, taken an uptick. So that's always good to see. Seeing them at 48% is the closest they've been to 50 since 2.6 was a thing, and that's literally the case. I'm looking at the chart right now where they started at a glorious 39% and then have sort of slowly been inching their way up. Maybe they won't stay there forever, but that will definitely be interesting to see. Also, the thing about Empire that just like kind of keeps surprising me is just the fact that they are kind of vulnerable to suppression, and they also have crappy order control. And so just
they
like
just
the
have
fact
crabby
that,
everything. Let's be real.
I mean, well, that's what it feels like, right? But clearly, they're at least hanging in there. Remnant is obviously still very good because that is very much based on at least 2 copies of a unit that never cares about suppression and that mitigates the order control issue nicely with free tokens everywhere. But I mean, it's good to see that. Certainly, we'll have to see where it turns out. Mike, I was going to ask you though, because there were some other numbers that were released with this, and one of them surprised me. Again, it's still early, but when we look at the real factions, so sorry to the 3% of the Shadow Collective players out there, but 3 of them are basically tied at 23, and then Gar is at 29%, which is as popular as they were back when they were the clearly most brokenest faction in the game in the 5 of First days at the start of 2.6. Why do you think that is, Mike?
2 reasons.
Okay, go ahead.
A, people are excited about Custom Jedi even though they suck.
I knew you were going to say that.
A. B, Republic got the best starter, man. I don't think it's particularly close.
Droid starter is pretty good,
but it's not exciting.
You're right.
I think
it's effective but not exciting.
Republic got in what I would consider a mostly effective starter. I'm looking at you, RF troopers. But looks cool. It's got 2 Jedi in it. Like, I don't know. It just I think the Republic starter really, hit a home
Jumps
run.
off the page.
Yeah, for sure. In a way that the other starters don't. And I think those 2 things combined, I don't think nobody's like, oh man, I'm super excited to play the Rebel or Imperial or Separatist generics. I mean, like
I like the generics.
I mean, I am.
I mean, they're cool, but nobody's like, oh man, this is like a reason to play Legion again, Whereas if you're like a Republic player or whatever, you're like, oh, I get to put like me with a lightsaber on the table. I just think that's so much. It's just so much cooler than like any of the other options, regardless of efficacy in power, right? Because we all know that those Jedi suck.
I played against some of those Jedi this week, and I didn't think they were that bad. I thought they did some cool stuff.
Like what?
So
Is it possible that one time they double move charged into a guy and then used ram to modify a dice and get Pierce 2 out of it? I mean, that does sound somewhat effective. Is it cool?
I got rammed twice, and both times it was like 7 hits. It was crazy.
Oh man, you got to do what a Jedi normally does.
No, Jedis don't normally roll 7.
I mean, that's because you play Luke.
No.
Also, they roll 5 dice 7 at baseline. If they have tenacity, then they could roll 6.
Yeah, but no Jedi consistently rolls 7.
Well, I'm saying, isn't rolling 7 impossible for a?
No, those lightsabers are 6 dice.
They're 6? I thought they were 5 dice. Okay,
never mind. So I guess again, I've been getting stuff wrong. It's red, 2 black, 3 white.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. So then if you have tenacity on top of that, then you
tenacity
can do
and ram. Yeah, it's just it's
reliable for sure.
It was very reliable.
When you get to charge, I mean, sometimes you don't.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's true.
I
guess my list you're going to be able to charge because
probably.
Whereas I've run up against the generic Jedi. I guess it's like twice now, but I never got engaged by my opponent in either game. So
I'm sorry. Let's back this train way up because Brian said he saw some Jedi do some cool stuff, and I have yet to hear it.
Well, it's the double move charge. It's literally the only thing that they can do, Mike. Charge. So go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, they had some. They had some cards that surprised me. They have a card that gave their guys tokens, and he got a standby token. That surprised me. What else?
They got a standby token
No,
they
go
couldn't
ahead.
use. Gotcha. Continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it got shut off, right?
Surprising, but probably not that strong. Continue.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look at his list, but I remember there's like multiple times throughout the game, like 'cause we were playing close to pocket, so we were brawling. It was this awesome guy from Iowa that I was playing against, and he it was actually a really cool list. It was 9 sabers. He had Anakin. He had 2 double bladed lightsaber generics, and a couple of like the saber throw guys, the high velocity saber throw ones, which was was a little bit annoying. And then he had
it's terrible. Let's just say that out loud for the record.
For my 120 point unit, it was a little bit annoying. It was a little bit annoying.
This is no offense meant to our Iowan player. He was playing a list that sounds very cool, but the math on that attack is absolutely.
It was really
awful.
cool. He did start the game off. He did say, he's like, "Hey Brian, this is not a competitive list. This is something I'm having a lot of fun with."
Oh.
Now,
well, I mean, he was running multiple like double bladed those, right? So
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
At least with those guys, he was going for it.
Yeah. And so, anyways, I don't need to defend myself. I did not think that they were terrible.
No, you did, and you failed to. We just wanted to make sure that
because I remember having this thought, like, man, that's kind of cool. Like multiple times, but I couldn't recall it. Okay.
But I was too busy beating his buns with my list,
my 25
point Cassian Andor in it. I thought it was cool in the way that like a cute fish in a pond is cool. Like, oh wow, look at that.
My 25 point Cassian model threw more dice than his Jedi.
Unbelievable amount of. I mean, we believe it, but that is again we're exposing you. That's part of the job that we do. So yeah, we'll see how these numbers pan out. Definitely curious about that. We'll try to keep checking in about like once a month ish. We're actually I think I just confirmed with Mr. Ragnar himself that we're gonna start sort of publishing all of his numbers on the TFT blog, starting around the new year. So that way people can have a reference point and not have to like listen to the exact right episode of our podcast or find the exact right part of Legion Discord where he's posting them right now. So that will be a cool addition to what we have on offer. But speaking of all sorts of like negative words as we bring this delightful conversation with Brian Baer to a close, Mike, let's pull up C3LP. I believe we have something special planned for our guests. Is that right?
An entire legion of my best troops.
Yeah. So how are we going to engage with our best droid friend this time, Mike?
All right. Yes. So we have asked C3LP today to do some research on what it means to be a toxic person.
Oh gosh.
And B, let us know and talk about the unit that one Brian Baer would want to talk about today.
We gave it some reference material, by the way. It was an anonymously written article from earlier this year.
We did. And so C3LP read it. It took about 2 seconds, apparently. Nice.
Shows how complex my writing. Oops, sorry. Then that person's writing is.
There you go. And C3LP then proceeded to give me perhaps more text than we've ever gotten before.
Okay. No. Are we gonna maybe just read the good bits, Mike? It's your call.
Yeah, I mean, let's just start it off, and we can decide to interrupt or whatever. And I don't want to put him up on a pedestal too much, but C3LP has some opinions here. Great. I read the article you linked. Brian from Indiana, a wolf in bear's clothing.
It's a great article.
which is a Star Wars Legion community profile about a player known for unconventional lists, surprising deployment choices, aggressive strategies, and unpredictable gameplay that outsmarts or overwhelms opponents in unexpected ways.
Yeah. If you're a rube, you don't expect it.
There you go. He's described as someone who doesn't just play Legion, he reinvents how people think about lists, bringing creativity and fearlessness to the game. His most noteworthy performances involve things like oddball turrets and transports that others thought were weak, and his double-bust Luke list that leveraged units in clever, non-obvious ways. So,
does C3LP only read the first 2 paragraphs of this article?
I don't know. So C3LP then proceeded to state the unit that Brian Baer would love to talk about today.
Okay,
and Brian, what unit do you think it is before we jump in? This is my favorite part.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I hope it's Luke. But I would guess it's probably, let's see, I'm trying to think what is the most toxic.
It's an older toxicity, sir, but it checks out.
Is it an older toxicity?
Yeah.
I have no idea. The speeder, like the speeder bikes, Empire speeder bikes. I have no idea.
R2D2 and C3PO, Rebel Alliance. Why this unit fits Brian's playstyle. Here's why this pairing fits the kind of cunning and creative player profiled. 1. Strategic depth and flexibility. R2D2 provides excellent utility. C3PO, while not a traditional combat powerhouse, adds unique command and support effects that can turn a game in subtle ways. I'd love to know what they are. These aren't brute force units. They reward clever activation timing and maximizing oddball synergies. Together, they let you engineer unconventional lists that revolve around smart positioning, macro planning, and squeezing every advantage out of every activation. Traits that mirror Brian's tendency to make the unexpected work. This is the kind of design space where a creative player can shine.
I'm going to melt this dread down.
Right?
It's being way too nice about Brian Baer.
So,
Brian, what do you think about
R2? He's going to be a carburetor soon.
Right?
I think that's fair. To be honest, R2 used to be very toxic.
He really was.
When you could drive R2D2 around in a land speeder, and have land speeder pilot be Shriv, so that Shriv activates, you blast something with the land speeder and you double tap it, and then R2. And then you give R2 a dodge and a suppression, so R2 can't be focused while he's inside of it, and he heals it up. Like, yeah. that was a toxic list.
And that was the late stage toxicity. The early stage toxicity was that my massively undercosted and overpowered clone list is busy killing all of your guys. And then also on the other side of the table, R2 is just going to score an extra VP for me while I'm at it.
For 35 points is what his
exactly.
Point cost
that was what he was back then.
Brian and I haven't played in a while, but I feel like one of the last games we played, I'm pretty sure he ran R2 over with his own land speeder to give R2 a suppression token.
He did.
So
hey, take this.
Yeah. Yeah.
That obviously doesn't work anymore, but yeah.
Yeah. Because that way R2 starts off the game with 2 suppression, because you get one from getting stepped on by your land speeder and you get another one from Shriv, and then he has won the entire game. You just can't shoot at him.
Yep.
So C3LP, after giving us the long-winded statements it did, asked me if we wanted to make a sample list using that you would like to play at a tournament.
Oh dear.
And so I just wanted to talk about it a little bit because I think it's much better than the one it gave us for Kyle. It actually
is it learning?
It actually is mostly legal.
Okay.
So this list is leaning into misdirection, objective pressure, and why is this working energy rather than brute force.
That does describe Brian fairly well.
Yeah. So, starting out with Commander Luke with force push, reflexes, and situational awareness. Also says that you can take Operative Luke if you want.
Yes, please.
Description here being Luke is here not as the main plan. He's the threat of punishment if your opponent commits elsewhere or overcommits elsewhere. We've got R2-D2 and C-3PO, and it is shown us that R2-D2's thing is cunning little trash can. This is the heart of the list. You are not killing people. You're breaking their plans.
With R2-D2.
Apparently. 3 to 4 Rebel Core Troopers with Z6s and situational awareness and duck and cover. Do they even have a training slot? I don't think so, right?
Not without a captain upgrade.
Yeah.
Yep. Cheap, flexible, and just annoying enough to matter. We then, man, Special Forces, Rebel Pathfinders, we've got POW.
Yeah.
Or optional swap, Clan Ren for mobility and mid-game surgical strikes. Then it slides in some ATRTs with rotary blasters, not there to dominate, here to force bad decisions and block movement. But this was the gem of the list here. The X-34 land speeder.
Oh, I put it in there.
Do you want to know what it said about it?
Yeah, what's on there? Go ahead.
This is your Brian unit. Looks questionable, plays brilliantly. Objective denial, last turn steals, and absolute psychological damage.
I can attest to that one, actually, firsthand.
Oh, man.
It killed all of my Fluttercrafts.
Why would Brian love this list? It uses bad or ignored units, rewards foresight and calm play, punishes aggressive opponents, looks harmless until it isn't, wins without tabling anyone, and I'm assuming that this quotation is supposed to be you, Brian, but it says, if my opponent understands my list by turn 3, I've already failed.
I'm just imagining Brian like looking across the table at his opponent as they're about to like flip their round 4 command cards, and he's just like, you know what, I concede. You've seen my plan, sir. Which means that I am doomed. I'm upset about the fact that C3. I do think that it said that it read the whole article, but then it read the preamble part. Which was like, you know, the bait before the switch, where I started where that author started really talking about who Brian Baer really is on the inside, and it clearly did not pay attention to any of that.
Yeah, it certainly sounded like a high school book report, that's for sure. you read the first 2 chapters, and then you make a whole paper.
Yeah, exactly.
And your teacher knows you did not read the rest of the book.
Artificial intelligence, everybody, with the writing ability of your average lazy 14-year-old.
I did have C3LP write in a complete and total game plan for a Legion game, but I don't think we've got time for that.
Yeah, like the short version is probably that it was not very accurate, right?
It was interesting.
Let's give us one strategy from that game plan.
Phase 1, initial deployment, analysis. Opponent expects aggression. Opponent will receive confusion.
I cast confusion.
Wait a minute. that land speeder just turned into an ATRT all of a sudden. What the hell?
R2-D2 is placed far from Luke Skywalker. This is not a mistake. This is Deception Subroutine Alpha. C-3PO stands near Rebel troopers. He is not useless. He is calculating odds, and the odds are acceptable. Pathfinders deploy forward. Opponents panic. Panic is logged.
Oh my god. There's a POW Pathfinders right in front of me. What am I going to do?
Phase 2, early activations. Luke Skywalker does not charge. This is correct. Luke waits. Waiting creates psychological damage.
He's not wrong about that.
Rebel troopers move. They gain dodge tokens. They refuse to
now.
die.
Wow,
Opponents
I'm impressed.
question life choices. R2-D2 deploys smoke, vision reduced, confidence reduced, hope reduced.
Man, you know what's great is that there was a time when I thought Smokescreen was a good command card.
Yeah,
because you could put comms relay on him and make it no time for sorrows.
When comms relay was a thing, it was usable.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Rip.
I'm not sure what we're gonna do with him, Mike. He's crossed me many times, and I'm gonna have to do some thinking about what to do with C3LP.
I'm a little offended that he suggested Commander Luke.
Yeah, they're quaking in their boots with those 5 dice coming in hot. 5 dice pierce 1. What am I gonna do?
I have no interest in baby Luke.
he's like a Jedi, you know.
Yeah, he's sort of like your average customizable Jedi, you might say.
Except he's got command cards.
Except he actually has more tricks than a customizable Jedi does, and you're not interested in him. Foiled. You've been caught, sir. Your so-called pseudo-positivity doesn't fly around here. I think those customizable Jedi are pretty cool.
I stand in solidarity with James, okay? James, I'm here for you.
Yeah, it's a good thing you got Brian on your side, because you definitely don't have Mike on your side. Sorry to tell you. All right, listen, Mike, we should land this plane.
Yeah. This has been the Notorious Scoundrels, Season 4, Episode 42.
I'm Evan.
And I'm Brian.
Stay fresh.
I'm Brian.
Cheesebags.